This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description. Howdy everybody, and welcome to the NRE Power Systems Cup Series here at Indianapolis for the Indianapolis 200. I'm Austin I'm joined by Tyler Vickery, and we're back home again in Indiana for another great day of racing here in the NRE Power Systems Cup Series. Tyler, how are you feeling for today?
I guess I could say I'm still kind of on cloud 9, but I am looking forward to this race. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It certainly is going to be a lot of fun. 81 degrees in the air today, and the track temperature is at a very toasty 99 degrees, so those bricks are going to be very warm up. But we're currently here at qualifying, so let's go out there on the grid and see what's going on out on track.
And currently we got a few cars on track right now. Gabriel Ellison's actually finishing up his second lap currently. First lap was a 50.20. This one looks to be a little quicker. Coming out of turn 4 now, heading down a long straight. He crossed the line. And let's see where this is going to be.
Ellison
Does not he barely improves, but not a lot. 50.04, so not a good time there by Gabriel Ellison.
Yeah, here's Rhett Tucker right now. Let's ride on board with him. He's currently on the back straight, heading into turns 3, which is one of the more difficult turns, especially turns 1 and 3. Very similar as in an Indy car, they're crazy difficult, but in these Cup cars, they're even more difficult without the massive handling that the Indy car has with all its aero. But you know, all these guys making it look nicely around here as Tucker, he comes across the line for his first lap. And he goes 4th. So the difference is between Indy cars driving at Indy and NASCAR driving at Indy. I know you have a little bit of experience about that, so walk us through there.
Yeah, it's... Oh, Kendall hits the outside wall hard. There's a huge difference here, especially Indy. Corners are different. You could almost compare turn 1 to the same as turn 3. Turn 2 is a very tight corner. Sorry about that. Very tight corner. You have to be very spot on when you're getting on the brakes and being able to make the corner. Especially with these big stock cars. Indy cars is a whole different thing. Indy cars, you're going already almost 50 mile an hour quicker than these cars alone, and a lot more downforce, and you can get through the turns a lot easier. But at the same time, one big mistake or even just a little mistake can cost you dearly in those cars, and it could end your race very quickly as well. Unlike the stock cars where they can take some beating and banging, but like we saw earlier with Kendall, you don't want to smash the outside wall too hard, because otherwise it could end your night prematurely.
Yeah, hitting that wall is very dangerous. We got a big slide from Derek Fulton coming through the
Oof.
short chute out of turn 3, heading into turn 4. And I've had a lot of experience racing here, and Indianapolis, being a mainly IndyCar driver in real life and in sim racing, this is my golden goose of a track. As Derek Fulton, he comes across the line, currently sitting himself in 5th place. Matthew Lee.
Ooh, Matthew Lee.
Standing on provisional pole right now.
Huge time, matter of fact. 49.69. Jack Coleman was in 2nd with a 49.71.
Well, Matthew, last time by, he actually slowed up coming out of the final corner because I believe he hit the wall. Here comes Chad Coleman. He's slowing up, and he's not going to finish this lap either. Yeah, he's taking the escape road.
And Derek Fulton's the only other one that's kind of on pace right now, it looks like. Coming out of turn 4. See if he improves. Coming to the line now, tied for 5th on time. And does not improve.
That proving very hard for some of these guys. We have 14 drivers on here. This is kind of like Donington with a few of these drivers. It's a very non-NASCAR orientated track. We saw a lot of people avoid Donington because the way that they just didn't want to race that track, it kind of drives a little bit worse for them. But with the way that these cars work, if you get behind somebody, that dirty air is going to be affecting a lot, especially going into turn 1 and turn 3, where you have to actually check up, and it's a lot of single file racing. But with these 14 drivers here tonight, it's going to be a very competitive race because all these guys here are always showing up to these races. So if you want to race against the top guys in the series, you always show up to each race, and everyone who's qualified here is one of those top drivers.
Yep, and they're going to be the ones that's going to take advantage of it, and add in too. I mean, like we've been talking about all season long already, especially with what happened last season. Is there's a lot of things that are going to be coming up with points, and this is something where top 10 in each stage are guaranteed points. So this is something that you got to take advantage of big time, especially when there's only 14 cars on the track for this race. You got to take advantage and beat out at least 4 other drivers and get those bonus points. And those bonus points are going to be big, especially later on in the season. And we've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, those bonus points definitely going to be paid off at the end of the season. But right now, we have cars lining up for the grid, and here is how we are going today. Matthew Lee puts it up on pole, followed by Chad Coleman right beside him with Andrew Navarro and Justin Michael in that second row. Our third row is made up of Derek Fulton and Richard Beasley. In our fourth row, it is Greg Welland and Gabriel Ellison, with Rhett Tucker starting out that fifth row with Ryan Kendall right beside him. And our sixth row, it's Bob Williams and Tori Thompson. And at the end of our grid is Nicholas Sacco and Mark Truxell. Completes this 14-car field. It's a very small field, but it's a very competitive field.
Yes, and I believe we got the stages as well. We're actually doing 4 stages tonight from what it appears. 25, 25, and then 15 and 15. And with the half fuel load as well, this could get very, very tricky on fuel strategy, knowing even with half fuel, seeing how these cars can run. Question's going to be big fuel strategy. 25 laps for stage 1 and stage 2. What do you think, Austin? Because I'm kind of like confused on how this is going to work on fuel strategy.
I'm just as lost as you are, but we are riding on board of our butt kicker pole position winner. It's Matthew Lee in that 04, and he's still sitting up on the grid. I'm I'm very confused as well with the addition of that 4th extra stage here tonight. 2 25-lap races at the start, and then 2 15-lap sprint races. I feel like the fuel is going to come into play in the first 2 stages, but in the last 2 stages, I don't know why they would. I'm fairly confused why there's a 4th stage, but you know, the NRE Cup guys, they like to try things out with this series, and might get a few drivers comments on it after this race. So you get out and get rolling here.
Yep. Ooh, big developments already. Andrew Navarro has fell through. That's not good. And I believe he may have had an internet issue, and hopefully he's able to get back in. So already a big development there. Andrew Navarro falling out of the race right now, just due some internet issues.
Well, so 13 cars taking the start of this race, and that is never good, especially at the start. But you know, with the extra stages in here, he could possibly get back into this race. But you know, usually when your internet drops at the very start of the race, you have a very slim window to get back out onto track before you get a lap down. And well, he would need to be hopping in about right now. And I know your computer does not like this track.
Oh, yes. And I mean, we'll add in too, at least Navarro would have some more opportunities as well, added in with this being a 2.5-mile track. So it will take a while to even lose a lap here at Indy, especially when you're going almost taking 50 seconds a lap. So hopefully we'll see Andrew get back in time, but man, it's going to be really unfortunate.
It is certainly unfortunate as we get back out into the short chute of turn 3, heading into turn 4. The pace car is pulling off. It's good to be back home again in Indiana for the Indianapolis 200 here for the NRE Power Systems Cup Series, presented here on Racecraft TV. There goes the pace car. Let's go racing!
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag waves, and there they go. Very late start by them. Matthew Lee and Chad Colvin still side by side. And it's a good start by the 87 and Justin Michael getting right onto the bumper of Chad Colvin. They're going to go side by side. All rows deep. Chad Colvin swinging down low, finding that groove, and getting right behind of Matthew Lee.
And a little bit of a stack up there further back. These guys are still making it 2x2. Greg Welland trying to slide in as he slides in too. Derek Fulton gets a great start.
Oh, big incident already.
Oh, Nicholas Sacco involved. Oh my goodness, heavy damage as well on the front and rear. Oh no.
And it's just the 06 got up, got very loose, and that's the risk you have here at Indianapolis. And immediately, a big incident taking out 3 drivers and a defending champion of Nicholas Sacco, who was just pretty much innocent party. You can see the 06 just got very loose right there, just too aggressive, and a big smackaroonie to Nicholas Sacco.
And look at all of that damage too. Oh man, I feel bad for Nicholas, because that was just wrong place, wrong time.
A very wrong place, wrong time indeed, as, well, first caution already in the first laps. Looks like an Indy fixed race. Well, you're here watching Racecraft TV. We'll be right back after these messages. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
Welcome back to Racecraft TV. We're back here live after that small mishap at the start with Matthew Lee back, still in the lead, followed by everyone else as our timing screen has failed.
That's never fun.
And it's back because I'm a whiz at my job. But after that first-ish incident, it's going to be very, very interesting to see on how everyone goes through this race. 10 drivers not affected by that crash. See Williams, and he's getting back out there on track, but Torrey Thompson, he's still in the pit lane, as well as Nicholas Sacco, as he just started getting rolling, but he's got a lot of damage on that car. Chad Cullen, Richard Beasley, and everyone else are going in to the pits for their second pit stop. It looks like, yeah, I think they're just going to try to top off on fuel,
Yep.
because, well, it's a 25-lap race, and the 50% fuel capacity restriction is going to hurt them that much. And so we got another lap of pacing here at Indianapolis, and Angie Navarro, he did make it back out on track.
Yep, he is, based on the live timing, I believe he is 1 lap down. So he's got a good opportunity of just playing it safe, waiting for the stage to end, and then getting his lap back.
Indeed, he does, but man, that was a lucky break for him, and not a lucky break for the guys up at front, because they want a clean track to escape from. And with all that caution, it's going to be just bunching them up even more and to struggle to get back free.
Yep, and these guys know that they got to be patient, and hopefully they can just keep it clean here at the start, knowing they still got, I mean, this is only lap 4, getting ready to restart lap 5, which means 20 laps to go before the end of the stage, so still a lot of time, especially over a 2.5-mile track.
Yep. 20 laps to go here at stage number 1 out of 4 as we head into the short chute. Lights are out on the pace car. Matthew Lee in control of the field. Derek Fulton up 3 spots, and he's going to be starting to rep aside of him. And our first drivers on newer tires is Bob Williams in that 7th place car, who is he's the one who first spun to bring out that caution. Pace car is in. Let's go back to green flag racing here at Indianapolis.
Green flag, green flag.
And immediately, Justin Michael getting onto the throttle, already side by side with Derek Fulton. Look for that 2nd place run as they head down that long stretch into turn 1. And Justin just taking it very calm down the inside. Around the outside, though, the 99 to Rhett Tucker trying to swing it around there. And they're going to go side by side once more. Watch that inside line because it is very hot, very gripping. Michael gets a big grip up as we got cars going all over the place here. But that fight for 3rd place goes to Rhett Tucker as they enter turn 3. And turned!
Big hit by Tucker as well. But he's going to keep it down on the apron. But boy, he is not going to be happy with that.
Tucker got turned by Justin Michael. Oh,
That was
no.
that was a huge hit on the concrete too. And that was that was a concrete barrier he hit too. So that's heavy damage on the on the left front.
And there goes Tucker lipping it into the pit road. Definitely a lot of damage on that car. Matthew Lee leading out Derek Fulton as they're pulling away from the grid. And everyone is probably just trying to say, there's only 10 cars, 12 cars out there on track. How are they crashing every time? That's the nature of Indianapolis, baby. Everyone wants to win here. Everyone wants to do whatever they can to finish up top here, because the nature of winning at the Brickyard is one of the most prestigious places to win.
Yep, and with all of its rich history, all the way back with the Indy 500, it's a track you want to win on. It's something that has a lot of prestige. Ooh, I think Mark Truxell scraped the wall there, way in the background.
Yeah, going down to the
down.
Yeah, we see a few drivers going all the way down to the wall sometimes, coming out of the corner. Just a little bit too much gas right there, or to try to break the draft as Truxell is behind a few other cars. Good fight ahead of him with Brian Kendall and Justin Michael. And it looks like Truxell is just avoiding all that dirty air, just staying clear from that wall.
Yep, absolutely. Kudos to Kendall. I mean, he's been the most improved as well from last season to this season. I mean, last season we seen him get caught up in a lot of incidents, and both on his own accord, as well as just pure, really bad luck coincidence. So, kudos to Ryan Kendall on just the improvements he's had from last season to this season currently.
Indeed, and this race right here is also very good. The race up for the front, as race's second place is between Derek Fulton and Justin Michael right behind as they're passing a lap car down the inside. That was Torrey Thompson, who goes 2 laps down right there. He's seemingly going all the way to the inside of the track, but Justin Michael is all over the gearbox of Derek Fulton.
You can see Fulton getting off a little early, as well as Kendall. Not Kendall, Justin Michael. And I think these guys are looking at, well, I was going to say looking at tire saving, but there goes Michael looking on the outside, getting out of turn 4. So I think some of these drivers are starting to see some tire wear coming into effect right now, and they want to save some tires a bit before coming into the pits.
Track temperature 111 degrees here in Indianapolis. Michael going wide again, getting into contact on him off the exit. And Fulton very loose mid-corner.
And one thing we can definitely see, and I think you can agree with me on this one, Austin, you don't want to hit those rumble strips down in the corners, because those rumble strips are actually concrete strips, and they will upset the car immensely.
Not an Indy car.
I've hit them a ton of times, and I've spun out because of it.
You've been running the wrong setup.
Okay, good to know.
I mean, you're talking to a 2-time Indy 500 iRacing Open Lobby champion. I know how to drive this track.
Okay, I guess that's why I deserve the Daytona 500 championship from 2009. Okay. Okay.
You drive on your high banks, I drive my low banks. Then again, I'm an IndyCar driver.
Fair enough. As Michael's still hounding the back end of Derek Fulton. Fulton's trying not to make too many mistakes, but you could see Michael, as
man.
Michael made a mistake there, and thank goodness he didn't hit the wall, because he was heading that way.
Both of them getting closer and closer to the wall. Michael's probably in the more rougher spot, just being stuck in that draft, as we have a few cars just going all over the place. Another battle out on track is between Ellison and Richard Beasley up ahead.
Yeah, and exactly like what you said earlier about some of the dirty air. This dirty air here at Indy it's huge, and that dirty air can really make the car unstable. And
as Beasley is sideways mid-corner.
Oof. And yeah, so being stuck behind that dirty air and making and just not having the cornering that you want could really hurt you as well on being able to get out of the corner and exit and get enough speed where you're not losing too much trying not to hit the wall.
Another fight is Mark Truxell and Chad Coleman. We saw Truxell getting a little bit loose earlier on in this race. I think he's found his groove as well, but they're all chasing that fight for second place between Derek Fulton and Justin Michael. And everybody is fighting our leader of Matthew Lee.
Matthew Lee is just running away. I mean, technically not running away with it fully. He is running quickest lap times out of everyone, but it's not like a huge gap as it is at other tracks where either Matthew Lee or someone else is pulling away. Whoa, look at that. Truxell, Mark Truxell.
He just
giving
let him
that
by.
spot up.
Yeah, he saw that Chad Coleman was closing in, and Chad's on 2-lap cleaner tires as Kendall dives down low and lets
Could Kendall be coming into the pits?
that's a lap car he let by.
That was Navarro. Huh. Interesting.
More of these
what has
drivers
happened
forming
there?
up, and I feel like we're going to have a little bit of a draft party right now. And these guys are going to start maybe teaming up with each other and saving some fuel.
That could be the logistics now, seeing how Matthew Lee, Derek Fulton, Justin Michaels have gapped out to just over 3.5 seconds, the top three over Chad Coleman and Ryan Kendall. So I think some of these guys are starting to look at maybe trying to get some long run here and save some fuel to where they can try, maybe even try to overcut Matthew Lee, Derek Fulton, Justin Michael, and that might be the idea out of a few of these drivers now.
Chad Coleman is on the newest tires out of everybody, the newest fuel tank. We saw him go into the pits on lap 3. He actually went into the pits twice to gain more fuel, so he has more fuel than everybody else out there on track. So he's definitely not worried about fuel saving, though the guys up front need to play with that draft game and maybe fight with some fuel saving. That's what everybody is doing behind him.
Yeah, look at that times right now. Chad Coleman is running 52.4. Watching my Truxell right now as well, as I believe he's burned up a lot of his tire, as his last lap time was a 53.05. But looking at your leader of Matthew Lee, he ran a 52.9. So lap times are starting to be very up, well, more like a roller coaster, because Derek Fulton now in the draft of Matthew Lee, and he just ran a 1/10 of a second quicker there. Justin Michael struggling with 53-second lap time. Tires are falling off for a lot of these top drivers now that pushed early on in the race.
Well, it is lap 15 out of 25. Usually be the other way around in the truck series. But, you know, here in the Cup Series, I like to do it a little bit differently. And to quote a lot of my crazy NASCAR fans, a.k.a. my granddad, those cheating Toyotas are up there 1, 2, 3.
At 1, 2, 3, and then here's the funny thing: 4th, 5th, and 6th are all Chevys, and then you have one lone Ford in 7th, and then you've got another Toyota, Gabriel Ellison in 8th. As Justin Michaels is in the pit road.
Yeah, first driver to head in. Green flag pit stop. We got Andrew Navarro back there, as I had an internet scare right there. He had an internet scare before this race.
Yeah, that was not good. Already, and Chad Coleman just hanging behind Andrew Navarro, and Andrew Navarro's probably hoping now that by the time Matthew Lee and Derek Fulton come into the pits, caution comes out for him, but I doubt that'll happen.
Yeah, but everyone trying to save as much fuel as they can. Who's going to be the outcome of this is Justin Michael. He's now coming out of the pit lane. Let's check where the leaders are compared to him. And, well, they're just crossing the brake yards right now. It's going to be very close for Justin Michael to see if he can stay on that lead lap. And I feel like he's got that. He just needs to get up to speed a little bit faster.
Yep. And he's right now oh yeah, he's got a huge gap. There's Matthew Lee coming down the backstretch now. You can see way further down is Justin Michaels. So Michaels is going to stay on the lead lap after his green flag pit stop.
And it's Lee, Fulton, Coleman as Beasley and Truxell going side by side. Mark Truxell letting Beasley around him as Beasley goes up into 5th place.
I think the tires have really fallen off on Truxell, and Truxell's really not comfortable with the setup either, because he's stayed very far away from the wall as Matthew Lee is now in the pit road.
Matthew
So
Lee,
is Mark Truxell now.
Truxell, and
Gabriel
Ellison. The 3 drivers into the pits this time. Derek Fulton takes over the lead.
Yeah, Derek Fulton was one of those drivers that did not pit on that early caution, so he's ought to be coming into the pits this time or next time, depending on how much fuel he's got left.
He indeed needs to be, as Richard Beasley still behind Ryan Kendall, getting closer and closer, and Kendall slowing up even more as we have a race coming off of pit road. Well, kind of. Matthew Lee spinning up the tires right there. Mark Truxell actually taking a little bit of evasive action as there's Bob Williams entering the pit lane. Gabriel Elsa gets out there. Nicholas Sacco and Justin Michael going side by side. And Nicholas Sacco, even with all that damage, he's still running it up there.
Yeah, that's a heck of a run for him right now. He'll be glad when the stage ends so he can get a lot of that car repaired as best he can. Ryan Kendall in the pits now.
As we're looking at Matthew Lee, currently sitting in 8th place. Our leader is still Derek Fulton, who is still out there, followed by Chad Coleman, Richard Beasley, and Greg Wellen. All 3 of these drivers in 3rd through 4th, and 2nd through 4th, went in on lap 3.
Very interesting, though, to see Derek Fulton still out there. I mean, I'm impressed with how much fuel he's able to save. As he's staying out there again, completing lap 19.
Indeed, their times are incredibly slow as Justin Michael is putting rockets down there on the track. 57-0 for Justin Michael compared to the 53-48 of Derek Fulton. But can he catch up to him in these next 5 laps?
I'm wondering now, and I have this really weird feeling. Do you think Coleman, Beasley, and Wellen, with hitting twice, topping off fuel, do you think they might be able to make it to the end?
It's possible. It certainly is possible. But they're going to have to be very smart about it. And no, it's not going to work for Derek Fulton. And now Chad Coleman, who was one of those lap 3 drivers, is now in the lead. 5 laps to go here at stage number 1 out of 4.
Well, that makes it, in my opinion, then that means with Fulton coming in on 20 to go, with 5 to go, 20 laps completed, these guys are going to have to pit with like 2 laps to go unless they are able to save fuel and save fuel aggressively.
It certainly will come down to fuel and how they can do it, as we're looking at our last lap between Coleman and Beasley. 3/10 gained by Chad Coleman last time by, so he's really pushing it on Beasley.
Yeah, and I'm just speechless right now watching these guys run. Knowing me with my math at times, trying to figure out fuel, I'm just impressed with what these guys are doing right now. As Matthew Lee just hounding it more, 3.5 seconds he gained, and he just ran a personal, but the race quickest lap time right now of a 50.28. So Matthew Lee is on a charge.
Matthew Lee definitely is going to be very, very threatful throughout this race, and we got a lot more racing going on here. But it's Chad Coleman. He's got help from a lap car ahead of him, a Torrey Thompson. Chad Coleman might be lucking out right now if he just needs to stay in that draft of Torrey Thompson ahead of him, and to save even some more fuel up there and gain some more time on the drivers behind him. but it's not going to be enough. Chad Coleman heads into the pit lane. So does Richard Beasley. Greg Wellen is going to play big ball right now. He's going to stay out.
Didn't Greg Wellen pull this off last time? Oh my goodness, I just heard him kill the engine. He's doing it again.
Yeah, at Donington, remember at the end of the second stage, he started shutting off, turning on the engine and shutting off to get to win on fuel strategy to get that stage win. And with just 2 laps to go, he might be able to do it. He's got a 20-second gap. There goes the engine again for Wellen.
Oh my goodness, if he pulls this off, I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off, though, especially with Justin Michael. I mean, Justin Michael's 20 seconds in and closing in quickly, too.
2 seconds faster last time by, but can that 2 seconds carry it on? Wellen is staying out. He's going for it all. And there goes the engine once more. The clutches are... This is Alexander Rossi levels of fuel saving.
If Greg pulls this off again, I'm done.
Well, remember, we still got another stage of 25 laps. We might see even more drivers attempt this. But Greg Wellen pulling out some of the impossible right now, pulling out all the fuel strategies. And we're currently looking at our minimap. You can just see Michael and Lee are entering turns 2 right now. Wellen is just coasting through these corners right now as the green and white checkered is being waved. Can the 94 of that Hunter Pence Baseball Academy, it's not gonna be there!
Oh my gosh. And the pit lane time is way too long as it is, so Justin Michael is gonna take over the lead on the green-white flag for stage 1. Matthew Lee is 2.5 seconds behind Justin Michaels, and I don't think he's going to be able to catch up in time.
Now Justin Michael has 1 lap to go here in stage number 1 out of 4 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the NRE Power System Cup Series here on Racecraft TV. Michael, Lee, Ellison, your top 3. And now Michael, he's got a good run. Richard Beasley is battling with Greg Wellen as he's now coming out of the pit lane, but everyone's getting past him in the short chute. As I want to say a big shout out to the short chute princess herself in chat. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? And coming out of the final quarter, taking stage number 1. It's the 87 of Justin Michael. As caution is out right now, the 511 Tactical Boys going to be very happy about that. Top 10 getting stage points. It's Michael, Lee, Gabriel Ellison, Derek Fulton, Chad Coleman, Ryan Kendall, Richard Beasley. Greg Wellen does get a few stage points, and we'll see on how he can do that in the second stage. Followed by Mark Churchill and Nicholas Sacco getting a first point and his lap back as he is Leppy Dog. You're here watching Racecraft TV for the NRA Power System Cup Series. We'll be right back after these messages. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description. Welcome back to Racecraft TV. We are back here live at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, looking at our Stage 1 winner of Justin Michael. But looking throughout the field, are we going to be seeing anyone trying to do a opposite fuel save? Now, what I mean by opposite fuel save is earlier on in the stage, about 5 laps into the stage, are we going to see people dive in for fuel?
Yes. I think these guys are going to start looking at doing a short run, trying to see what they can do, and making it to the end with having a little bit extra fuel in the tank, so that when the 15-lap sprint stages come into play, they want to have just enough fuel to make it through the stage, to keep those cars lightweight. So I think that there's going to be a good chance that we'll see in 5 laps some drivers coming in early.
Yeah, and so fuel window opens at lap 5, and I would say closes at lap 20. So it's these cars can last 20 laps on fuel, but the short fuel strategy is definitely a possibility here, and you know, it could work out, and we might see a few of our daring drivers at the back try. I know we just had a few more drivers go into the pits this round again. Gabriel Ellison being one of them right now, as yep, he's right there. As we have more drivers coming out of the pit lane, you can just see them closing in right now. Richard Beasley, Ryan Kendall, Nicholas Sacco. Remember, he was in that lap 1 incident, and he's still got that hood damaged. But the leaders right now coming through the short chute of turns 3 and 4 as the back of the field catches up to them behind our iRacing pace car. Can anyone top Justin Michael and Matthew Lee? We'll find out right now. Matthew Lee, our butt kicker pole position award, starting on the outside. The race, though, is in control of Justin Michael. Pace car is in. Let's go back to green flag racing here on Racecraft TV.
Green, green, green.
Green flag's in the air, and everybody immediately diving down to the inside, trying to get ahead of Michael. Matthew Lee sliding in between him and Fulton as they head into turn 1.
And look at Gabriel Ellison trying to look on the outside line as well, but single file now, as everyone's now starting to play it safe, and already can see some of the top 4 trying to pull away from Chad Coleman. Meanwhile, everyone else is still trying to fight as Mark Truxell goes down on the inside line.
He doesn't want Beasley drafting off him, and actually I think he's just letting Beasley by. He's going to try to draft it through there. Matthew Lee takes the lead. He goes down to the inside of Justin Michael.
Michael slides up the track. Ooh,
almost into the wall.
And look how quickly a gap is formed.
And now here comes Derek Fulton on Michael, and here comes Ellison on Fulton. Side by side they go across the row of bricks. Derek Fulton leading Justin Michael, and Michael's going to have to fall down even more as there's Ellison down there. And now here goes Chad Coleman on the inside of Justin Michael. Here goes Greg Wellen on the end of Justin Michael. Our Stage 1 winner just got freight trained all the way down to 7th.
Yeah, that got really bad very quickly. Thankfully, the car's still clean, but he must be having all kinds of issues because he is way off pace.
You know, Michael, he might be going for that earlier pit stop than everybody else. Maybe around lap 10, he could try to go there and then pull out an upset with everybody. But you can see that Truxell and Michael, both of them, falling way off the pace. I believe they're going to start fuel saving way too early.
Oh, without a doubt, man. Especially some of these guys fuel saving way early on. I mean, you can see Michael's running 52.8s already. So, curious on what the game's plan is.
Oh,
Wellen. Yeah, Wellen got close there. So, I'm curious on what the game strategy is going to be, because what we were thinking, I think, is out the window.
It's still kind of in play, but it's going to just be a barely minuscule advantage because it still got to go into the pit stop, but everybody else has to go to the pit stop as well. It's just a matter of how much fuel you're putting into that car to make that pit stop count.
Yeah, and that's where I think we'll have a very tough time on knowing when these guys are going in. But like you said, I mean, 10 laps in, and some of these guys will probably jump in very early on. So we're just gonna have to watch these drivers, see what they plan out, and go from there.
Yeah, Michael McKinnon is a very, very good race. I know the practice race was very successful for him as he won it. And
Good.
Michael's he's actually the admin of NASRA, and all those guys there having most of their series here on Racecraft TV is a very honorable thing, and we certainly love having them here. As remember, on Friday the trucks go 134 laps at Texas. Chad Coleman and Gabriel Elson are nose to tail with each other. And there goes Ryan Kendall first into the pit lane. Somebody's watching the broadcast.
Yep. Thanks, Ryan. And so now the question is will this work out for Ryan?
Well, we're gonna
See
find out. In the long run, he's gonna have that less pit stop, but he's not gonna have the draft that he did at the front of this stage. But everybody else is gonna start focusing on there because we're racing to lap 50 now. Another 25 laps we go, but it's a little bit shorter than 25 laps because remember we had a caution on lap 25 and we went back to green flag on lap 28. So it's not an even 25 laps. It's about 22 laps. So what Greg Wellen did last time by is definitely possible to win stage 2 that way.
Yeah, and sometimes bold strategies can pay off. It's a big risk reward type of situation, but Kendall can be one of those guys to catch everyone off guard.
Yeah, Ryan Kendall going for the more safer strategy. Everyone else going for, I'm going to draft off this guy's strategy. And Matthew Lee, well, he's just going off of Matthew Lee's strategy. Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor, head down, Lightning McQueen style. I'm going to win this race no matter what I do. And he's just going to burn some rubber. Derek Fulton's kind of stuck in the same way. But Chad Coleman is just buried in that gearbox of Ellison.
I think Coleman's got the best opportunity right now with how Coleman's running up behind as Justin Michaels is in the pits now.
Michael going for that early strategy as well. Him and Ryan Kendall could easily group up together, and Kendall still on the lead lap.
Yep, still on the lead lap and pulling away too. So as gonna be, let's see, Michael's not near his pit box yet. Should be coming in this pit box now and gonna be fuel only. Trying not to slide his tires.
Well, actually, tires here give you a lot of lap time, and if I was Justin Michael, I would want to have enough speed to pull away from everybody else. So I would take tires and fuel because you're going to be using a full-on tank. Chad Coleman gets very loose. Boy. Greg Wellen goes into the pits early. He's going to try that early pit stop strategy.
Yep. And Michaels did take tires, but it's going to be, he's only 2 seconds right now gap to Matthew Lee. And I think Michaels just may have been passed. As Andrew Navarro, Nicholas Sacco both come into the pits now.
Yeah, early stops for them. Nicholas Sacco, he's just been having a rough day. Ryan Kendall still in 10th place. Justin Michael, he's just been lapped by Matthew Lee and Derek Fulton.
So, the question now is, was that tire strategy of getting new tires helpful, as though Fulton had a little bit of a moment there?
That's what the advantage of the new tires are, as Derek Fulton has fallen down to Navarro. We got a car sideways. Oh, no, that wasn't a car sideways. It looked like a car sideways, but Richard Beasley goes into the pit lane.
Yep, as Andrew Navarro is getting tires, Nicholas Sacco opting for just fuel, but it's now Sacco and Navarro 1 lap down each just based on the timing tower alone. As Wellen is now behind Ryan Kendall.
And Wellen, he had a great pit stop. There's Kendall right now. And Kendall was the first one to the pit stop. Wellen's in that draft, so this is technically the fight for the net lead of the first drivers off of pit road.
Yes, and the thing is, Wellen got tires. Kendall did not.
Here goes Wellen.
And it's not gonna take long because Kendall's gonna back off and let Wellen take it, especially with Wellen on new tires.
Swings back up there. Wellen takes that spot. So Wellen now the net leader of this race. As Richard Beasley is coming out of pit road, he's going to be in there.
And oh, it's gonna be close. And Beasley
He's
might
gonna be
stay
behind
ahead of
him.
Kendall. He might stay ahead of Kendall though, and he will. So Beasley jumps up in the second provisionally.
So Ryan Kendall, those old tires, not helping him at all. So we go back up front between Ellison and Coleman as all four of our leaders have now started to catch up with each other.
As Ellison right now trying to find something to catch up to Fulton. Meanwhile, you can see Chad Coleman right behind Ellison. Coleman's backed off a little, and I think Coleman is trying to save a little bit of tire now and stay within that half a second gap to keep the draft and save some fuel.
As we ride on board, Chad Coleman currently sitting in 4th place. As we look at the gap to Greg Wellen is 43 seconds from our leaders of Matthew Lee, who is in the shot right now. Everybody's all spaced out equally up front here. And they're all wondering when Matthew Lee is going to go. He's going to go right now. And Derek Fulton is staying out as well as Chad Coleman.
Gabriel Ellison going into the pits behind Matthew Lee. Mark Truxell stays out. So now your top three, Fulton, Coleman, and Truxell. Meanwhile, Greg Wellen is another 40 seconds back, trying to catch up to these top three now, as Wellen is the most recent driver that took tires. And now the question is, where's Lee and Ellison going to come out?
Yeah, and average pit lap time is 50 seconds here, so Matthew Lee and Gabriel Ellison going to have to be very quick on this stop with 10 laps to go. As there goes more cars past him. And there they both go out of the pit lane. Here comes Matthew Lee back out onto track as Derek Fulton leads this race out of turn 4. He's going to stay out there.
To Greg Wellen. Something happened, or no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong, I thought Greg Wellen crashed or something. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong timing.
Thank you for the heart attack of the century, Tyler. Mark Truxell goes into the pit lane. Derek Fulton still stays out with Chad Coleman right behind. Greg Wellen sitting in 4th now with Richard Beasley behind him. As Matthew Lee came out in 6th place.
The interesting, too, looking at the pit lane times, Matthew Lee was 3 seconds quicker from pit in to pit out. So, wonder what happened there with the pit
It's
stop.
just the amount of time. It's just the amount of time that that Greg Wellen is pulling as Derek Fulton heads into the pit lane.
And that leaves Chad Coleman, the only driver to last pit during the caution on lap 26, and still have about 8 laps to go. So I don't think Coleman's going to stay out that entire time. He's going to more than likely be pitting this time.
It will, but now the question is, Greg Wellen, he's got Richard Beasley on his tail. We will have a fight for the end of this race and the end of this stage, as that gap is now down to 34 seconds, and they caught traffic.
Oh,
Wellen's going to have to force his way down low. Here goes Beasley through the short chute. And there's all over the place. Wellen is sideways.
And both of them got loose.
And they're bump drafting here now. Back straight's bump drafting Beasley and Wellen pushing through the field as Matthew Lee's right there. That was great for Matthew Lee. And Derek Fulton right behind.
This got interesting quick.
Oh, this is it for our classic finish. 7 laps to go. Matthew Lee storming down the leaders who are swapping paint right now. But Chad Coleman is still out there. 33 seconds to them. Those new tires by Matthew Lee definitely putting on a good show right now as he's catching the net leaders on their older tires. Beasley is sideways as here comes the 04 of Matthew Lee down the straight onto the inside. Side by side they go. Lee into third.
And Lee might be looking at first as Lee actually gets around Beasley. Now sets his sights on Greg Welland. Oh my goodness, and Welland got
Into
loose.
4. And Lee into the net lead as Chad Coleman, who is still the leader by 31 seconds with 6 laps to go. Which is basically, he's on the other side of the track right now. Yeah, Chad Coleman is just coming out of turn 4. And he's saving as much fuel as he can right now.
Yeah, but I don't think he's saving. He's not doing the Greg Welland method though that I'm aware of. But we'll see here as we're on board now.
We're going to find out if he can have it in him. 5 laps to go here for Chad Coleman. Can Matthew Lee close down that 30-second gap? Chad Coleman keep that 30-second gap with saving this amount of fuel. We got another fuel strategy sprint race on for us, which does not make sense when I said that.
And Coleman's still staying out there. Lee is now 28.5 seconds from catching Chad Coleman. So
another 3 seconds down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's bring up our time delta and just look at that gap just fall. Coleman across the line this time by 53.66.
And you can just see Coleman right now. He hasn't gotten on the clutch yet, so right now 45 laps completed, getting ready to complete lap 46. It's gonna be close.
It's going to be very close between them. Coleman, 26 seconds coming out of turn 4, and he's going very slow through turn 4, and he's going to go into the pit lane. He tried to do it. It's not going to work out for him. Chad Coleman goes into the pit lane.
And with Matthew Lee probably bringing a sigh of relief now as Beasley is 3 seconds behind Matthew Lee, and Lee is running away with this.
Matthew Lee, our butt kicker pole position award winner, definitely putting the pedal to the metal and pulling out that good strategy with Richard Beasley right behind, followed by Greg Welland in 3rd place, and Gabriel Elson, Derek Fulton, Justin Michael, and Mark Truxell in 8th. But Matthew Lee, man, he definitely had that one right for him. Halfway through the stage, he went in on lap 39, just 3 laps later than Beasley and Welland. And, well, those new tires he got definitely worked to his advantage as he powered through the field. And, well, we've seen the fuel strategy work, but can he take the stage winning work now with the 2 sprint races we have after this?
Yep. Now the big question is what's going to happen with these sprint races as Nicholas Sacco just trying to run laps down, hoping for another incident to where he can try to get some bonus points, because Nicholas Sacco stuck in 11th place after the early incident.
And now Ellison is on Welland in the battle for 3rd. Right on board of Gabriel Ellison on that Hunter Pence Baseball Academy of Greg Welland. Here goes Ellison down low. Side by side they go on the back stretch. And it's going to be Gabriel Ellison up into third now. And next on the target is Richard Beasley, because Ellison, he went on the same pit stop as Matthew Lee. So they both went in on lap 39. Does he have enough oomph to get through on Richard Beasley?
Looks like it, as he's getting a good run here off of Beasley. Heading into one with 2 to go. And Beasley's going to do everything he can trying to hold off Ellison, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Certainly find out if it will be enough. Ellison all over Beasley. He's getting a good tow right behind, but so is Beasley. He's getting a good tow from Nicholas Sacco up ahead of him. They're nearly bumper to bumper. They both dive down low, heading into 3. And here comes Ellison on the front straight. Green and white flag is in the air. The fight for second is alive and well.
And Ellison makes the pass super cleanly, too.
And Beasley got up onto those curbs, got a bit loose right there. As now Derek Fulton's on Greg Wellen. But all eyes are on Matthew Lee as he played that strategy and his pace perfectly here today. Didn't fall back at all, stayed up front, went into the pits at front, and then battled through the field to finish out at front. Matthew Lee takes stage number 2 here at Indianapolis.
Caution is out.
And they're followed by Gabriel Ellison in second place. Richard Beasley, Greg Wella, Derek Fulton, Justin Michael, Mark Truxell, Chad Coleman, Ryan Kendall, and Andrew Navarro are top 10. And Andrew, for missing the start of this race due to internet problems, is back onto the lead lap, and he has a stage point. You're here watching the NRE Power Systems Cup Series here on Racecraft TV. We'll be right back for the start of stage number 3 out of 4. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
welcome back to Racecraft TV. We're back here live at the end of stage 2 for the start of stage number 3 out of 4. Andrew Navarro is leading this race. And, well, he's trying to fake everybody out to go into the pit lanes again. But, you know, now is the start of our 15-lap sprint races, which means they don't need to go into the pit stop now. But now they're just going in for, hey, I feel like I just need the most amount of tires. But Andrew Navarro, he last went into the pits on lap 35.
Interesting move.
I feel like this is just a mistake on Andrew Navarro's part.
Yeah. But who knows with him? He's probably hoping for a last second caution.
I think he's just realized what's happened. He's missed the pit lane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and he's got the wave around, probably. I mean, he had the lucky dog, I think, too.
Well, he finished the stage on the lead lap, so I'm not sure why he went into the pits. I think he just didn't understand the concept of it right there. But lights are out on the pace car. Matthew Lee is leading, and Andrew Navarro falls to the end of this grid. And I feel like he needs to go into the pits for that to work, because he doesn't really have any competition behind him now. With Nicholas Sacco out, Ryan Kendall 1 lap down, Williams 5 laps down, Thompson and Tucker are out as well. Only 9 cars are out there on track. Actually, technically 11 with Williams and Thompson. Now 12 with Sacco now getting back. Sacco is out. Okay. Kendall has just now gone into the pit lane. But the start of now 15-lap sprint races, it's a whole new show right now here in the NRA Power Systems Cup Series. Here on Racecraft TV, there goes Navarro into the pit lane. Green flag's in the air. Here we go. Ellison gets a great start on Wellen. And look at that, 3 wide at the back of this pack as Fulton holding that inside line on Greg Wellen now. He's up into 3rd. Richard Beasley right behind.
Fulton trying to hold on that inside line. Wellen not getting the run, and Fulton's going to swing by in front of him. Oh, maybe not.
As we got cars going all over the place here on this back straight. Wellen holding that outside line. Fulton down to the inside. Fulton and Wellen both got draft that time by. But Fulton's got that inside line. But Wellen's going to swing it around the outside of Derek Fulton.
And, oh, he's making it work. And Wellen's trying to cut down on Fulton. Fulton's going to still fight back. Just side by side heading to the start-finish line.
Now they're still side by side now. And this is great news if you're Gabriel Ellison or Matthew Lee ahead of him as side-by-side fighting. It's definitely slowing them down. But caution is out by Bob Williams on the front straight.
What happened there?
He just crashed by himself.
Oh my.
He turned into the wall.
Okay.
And just drove to the wall and around he went, and well, confusion is here at the paddock right now here in Indianapolis, as well, we are on our 4th caution right now, as we just only got 5 laps into that race, so 10 laps remain here in stage number 3 out of 4. You're here watching Racecraft TV. We'll be right back after this break. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
Welcome back to Racecraft TV. We are back here live at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Lights are now going to be out on the pace car. And we got 22 laps to go, but we still got a little ways to go. About, some quick math. Gonna be ending lap 58 when we go back to green. And we're gonna be finishing on lap, quick, you're the math one. What's 15 plus 50?
75. Yeah, it'd be lap 75.
All right.
Yeah, you heard me, right? It was lap 75.
Yes, I heard you. I was just
Okay.
I'm just trying to make that work in my head.
Oh.
Well, we're gonna find out, because when it says 22 laps to go, but that is for the overall race. But really, we have another entire stage. We're gonna be going to 7 more laps here of green flag race before we start off the final stage. It's stage number 4 here in the NRE Power Systems Cup Series.
And the intensity is gonna ramp up tenfold.
Indeed it is, with the field now back up again. They have 7 laps to make as much moves as they can. And I feel like everyone is breathing a sigh of relief, and they learned some mistakes from last time by, but Matthew Lee didn't do anything wrong. Pedal to the metal again. We're back to green flag racing here on Racecraft TV. And look at that, Ellison diving down to the inside, blocking Greg. Wellen securing that second spot, but Wellen sends it into this turn. He's not going to be able to get ahead of Ellison. And it's Lee, Ellison, Wellen, Fulton, our top 4.
Yep, and Fulton's struggling on the outside line. Wellen getting a better run out of there. Look at Navarro now coming out of nowhere after having internet issues at the start of the race. He's up to 5th now, as he's going to make this move around Coleman. Actually, not able to get the move yet, but once he's able to get a move around Coleman, he's going to take
Kendall
over
into the wall.
Yeah, I saw that hit, and that was a pretty nasty one as well.
And we got 4 wide down the front straight.
This is going to get interesting.
It seriously is. Coleman leading that fight with Navarro diving it down, getting passed low by Justin Michael, our stage 1 winner. And now there's Beasley trying to get him in the short chute.
Beasley being super aggressive now. Ooh, Mark Truxell almost gets in the wall further behind. These guys are really going at it now.
And up front, Ellison and Lee just have 5 more laps to go here in stage number 3. And don't count out Wellen or Fulton just yet. They have a good run on Ellison, and anything can happen, but Matthew Lee has that half-second lead, but he's still got the draft of that high downforce package on him.
Ellison's trying to find a way to catch up to Lee right now, and it's not working. Big difference, though, is Lee ran a 50.36. Ellison only a 10th off the bat, so Ellison's got to make up some ground quickly if he wants to try to win this stage before the end of with 3 laps to go. Look at the bat. Look at Fulton now looking on the inside. Fulton's trying to give a little battle here to Greg Wellen. Oh, look at
Michael with an early pit stop. Oh, Michael is going to go for the overall win. A risky move right there, but I feel like he's going to go for his fuel move right now. And
he's
then
going to take tires too.
Well, yeah, but in the caution, he's going to have to take tires again because everybody's going to be on 3-lap newer tires. But I feel like this is his final stop for fuel for Justin Michael. Or he doesn't know that there's another stage left.
He might be trying to play the strategy game, like I said. Pit, take tires, don't run the car aggressive. Try to save those tires for those last 3 laps. Do not pit under the caution, and he starts the restart as the leader.
It's an odd move by Justin Michael, but we'll find out what he's got working up that mad mind of his. He's already back out.
5 seconds ahead. 4 seconds ahead of Matthew Lee currently is what the timing is giving. But you can see he's not pushing the car.
Yeah,
he's
no.
really not pushing the car hard. Yeah, he's saving the tires. He's not pitting. He will not be pitting in the caution. Ooh, Lee almost hits the wall. Oh, look at this.
More drivers going into the pits.
Oh, boy.
We enter lap 65. Green and white flag are in the air.
As a really great battle for second. Gabriel Ellison hanging on to staying ahead of Fulton by just little margin, as Fulton's trying to decide on whether or not he's want to make a move or not. And gets
Fulton
a
all over the
better
back
exit.
end.
Way better exit there, but doesn't have the entry. Oh, look at Ellison pull away. Oh, wait a minute.
Here comes Fulton.
And
It's going to be a race towards the line for second place. Fulton's got it by a nose.
ooh, wow.
And it's another stage win by Matthew Lee, but Derek Fulton winning that race to the end of stage number 3 by a nose, just ahead of Gabriel Elson, Mark Truxler, Ryan Kendall, Chad Coleman, Greg Love, Richard Beasley, Andrew Navarro, and Justin Michael. 15 laps remain here in Indianapolis as we get ready to start stage number 4, the final stage. So it's going to be very, very interesting. We got multiple strategies going on. Can the early pit stops use their lower fuel tanks to the advantage and those save tires as well? Or can Matthew Lee, Derek Fulton, and Gabriel Elson power through them all with that final stint that they put in? You're here watching Racecraft TV for the NRE Power Systems Cup Series, and we'll be right back for the end of this race. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
Welcome back to Racecraft TV. We are back here live at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Lights are out on the pace car. Chad Coleman leads this race. We'll be going green with 11 laps to go. Coleman went into the pits on lap 64 and him, Beasley, and Navarro followed suit. Justin Michael went in on lap 62. And right behind him is Matthew Lee and everybody else who just went into the pits on lap 67. So we're going to find out who's got the best strategy, who's got the best tires, and who's got the best speed and ability to avoid this traffic here at Indianapolis. As more drivers are falling to the back, I feel like they've just been given an EOL for speeding in the pit lane.
Ooh, that is not good.
As it's
Bad
Justin Michael leading this race with Matthew Lee right beside him. And for all those drivers who went to the pits earlier to, you know, try to go for that undercut to get that starting position, why would you request an EOL in this situation? You're starting ahead and everybody else has to fight through you. Do you just give up at that point?
Actually, I wonder, do they have any kind of rules regarding pit lane being closed after a certain lap?
You know,
Like a
that
certain
might
amount of
also
laps
be the
before the
case,
end
but
of
they were
stage?
ahead of them anyway. They didn't go into the pits. They went to the pits on lap 64, so there was no pit lane closure call. They requested that EOL. I just looked in chat.
Huh.
Well, pace car lights are out. On strategies are happening. Pace car's in. 12 laps to go. Let's go back to green flag racing. Justin Michael into the lead.
Green, green, green.
Matthew Lee immediately right behind him. And it's a drag race here at Indianapolis. Derek Fulton onto the bumper of Matthew Lee. He's going to try to go for an upset right here, but the two stage winners of the 3 stages today are nose-tail with each other. 11 laps remain.
These
Matthew
guys
Lee
are
going for that.
at it too.
Matthew Lee getting out a little bit wide. Derek Fulton out a little bit short as well. Michael is just having a good run. He dives down to the inside of the track. Everyone fanning out right now, then getting back to that serpentine line. But look down low. There's Gabriel Ellison on Fulton.
And Gabriel Ellison tried to make it work. Ooh, he got a little loose too, and that was not going to work for him.
Not going to work at all. So we go back to the front. Matthew Lee trying to get on Justin Michael. Michael goes back to the pit wall, then back again to break free of that draft. 10 laps remaining here at Indy.
Laps remaining, and all bets are off right now as these guys are just pushing it and giving these tires a workout and a half. And now it's Indy cars all over again as these guys are snaking their way through Indy.
At significantly slower speeds, I must say.
Well, in a way, it's a snake. They want to break the draft.
If you want to say it's like USF 2000 at Indy, I can say that. Having actually, you know, done that.
Yeah, I know. Keep making me jealous, and I'm the only one that's stuck racing at New Smyrna. But it's slowly.
It's Michael, Lee, Fulton, Elson, Kendall, Welland, Coleman, Truxell, Beasley, Navarro are top 10. As you can see, Matthew Lee getting very loose, going way wide right now as they go back all the way down low. On that back straight, then coming back up once more. That draft not being useful right now, but Matthew Lee, he's used as much as he can. He's on the gearbox of Michael. We go on to 8 laps to go. It's a mini snake right now going all the way out to the wall. I feel like Justin Michael might try to let Matthew Lee have this lead so he could get some of that draft.
More than likely, and Lee just gets a huge run, and
Here goes Lee.
cutting it very tight too, and gets a huge run.
Now Matthew Lee has the lead. Michael right behind. Derek Fulton can spoil Michael's party. But remember, Michael is on those older tires than everybody else. He went in 5 laps before and had 3 running laps with those, even though he was trying to save as much tires to go. I feel like those tires are not working out for him now as he's losing even more pace to Matthew Lee. Here comes Derek Fulton. but big block by Michael. Yep, they're bump drafted. Trying to catch up as much as they can to Lee. But Lee is just pulling away from these two. Fulton needs to be in second to make that charge. 7/10 behind them.
And Lee is pulling away. Fulton is going to be pushing this car ever more. As here goes Gabriel Ellison looking on the outside now, trying to get a run.
Those newer tires could definitely work around the outside, but can Michael hold that inside line? Or else he could come up the track and almost hit them, and they almost touch right there.
That could have been disastrous.
Could have been disastrous, but thank goodness it wasn't disastrous, as this race is looking for a green flag finish with all the drivers so close to each other. But Matthew Lee, as they go 6 laps to go here at Indianapolis, is in the best seat, but he's just lost an entire 10th to Derek Fulton in that draft.
Lost a lot, and Fulton is pushing, trying to catch up, but it's just right now the lap times are in Matthew Lee's favor, and it's not helping Fulton at all now.
We bring up our lap data between Lee and Fulton. That gap is falling down and down. Well, it actually was rising, but now it seems to be falling, as it looks like Fulton is in the driver's seat with that draft helping him.
Yeah, and further back, we got a big battle for fourth. I believe that was
Kendall getting past Michael. Yeah, that gap's
Yeah.
falling now for Lee and Fulton. Fulton is now in the camera shot for Lee.
Fulton trying to gain. He runs a little quicker than Lee that time around. Fulton 7/10 of a second to gap, but look at Ellison though. Ellison's catching up to Fulton now. Andrew Navarro having a pit. Looks
Yeah,
like he
Navarro
didn't have enough
was-
fuel.
Yeah, Navarro tried to shortchange it there. It's not worked out for him. He's gone into the pit lane as our leaders are just a few more laps to go. 4 laps to go now. 8/10 separates them. Lee's got the advantage.
He's got the advantage right now, but at the same time, Ellison lost a little bit of time there, but these top 3 are hoping someone else makes a mistake. As a little further back, my goodness, it's a hornet's nest.
Everyone's trying to get around the slow Justin Michael, and I believe Justin's got out of the way. They were 2x2 for a while, but now they're just nose to tail with each other.
And nose to tail. Look at Chad Coleman trying to find a way to get some kind of run. Truxell's trying to figure out a way around him, and it just the tires are just falling off. As here goes Truxell now. Looks like we might have a run on Chad Coleman here coming down the start finish.
Here comes Truxell. 3 laps to go. Truxell down low on Coleman. He's got that move.
Makes it cleanly as well.
Truxell now up into 6th place.
Now Beasley's going to try to do the same thing around Coleman. Coleman is struggling right now.
Beasley's just staying with them. Just on that gearbox, not trying anything down low. And you can see Coleman's getting onto the throttle just a little bit sooner than Beasley. But Beasley going through that corner just has a little bit more speed on corner entry. So that's going to be killing the tires for both of them at pretty much equal pace, but just a little bit more for Chad Coleman. 2 laps to go now.
2 laps to go, and I do not think that Derek Fulton's got anything left from Michaels, because Michaels is just keeping that gap. Fulton's pushing the car, and it's just not, he's not gaining any ground at all.
You mean Matthew?
No, Derek Fulton, he's not getting any kind of ground at all on Matthew Lee.
Yeah, you called him Michaels.
Oh. I don't know why I said that.
They come out of
Anywho.
turn 4. Derek Fulton, say, tense back, taps the wall right there. Matthew Lee, white flag in the air here at Indy.
And this might give Ellison a chance at second with that scrape. Matthew Lee is loving this in the mirror, seeing that Derek Fulton's falling behind in the mirror. Lee's just got to be consistent for 2 more corners as he comes out of turn 2.
Getting a okay-ish run, but that gap is just too far back. Matthew Lee, 8/10 into the lead. Not worried about that draft at all. This time by, falls down to 7th as they enter 3rd. Through the short chute they go. And heading into turn 4. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're a winner of the Indianapolis 200 here for the NRE Power Systems Cup Series, Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee takes the victory here at Indianapolis. Checker flag flies in the air as everyone is crossing the line. We still got Adrian Navarro and Tori Thompson to cross the line right now, so we can't pull up our graphics. But man, what a win for Matthew.
Yeah, great win for Matthew, and he played aggressive when he needed to, played consistent when he needed to be consistent, and I mean it pays off in the end for him.
Certainly did pay off, and he's going to be a lot happier with that as he takes another win here in the NRE Power Systems Cup Series here on Racecraft TV. He's coming around turn 4 right now. And, you know, I'm going to put up the protest. Do not do a burnout on the bricks. There's just something you don't do. You just don't burn it out on the bricks. So he's going to stop it, and don't do it. Don't do it. Nope. You freaking did it.
Oh, no.
Well, thankfully, this is virtual life, because in real life, I think you would get stoned right now. Matthew Lee burns it down here on Racecraft TV. Here are our race results. Matthew Lee takes the victory. If they actually showed up. Matthew Lee takes the victory, followed by Derek Fulton, Ellison, Welland, Truxell, Kendall, Coleman, Beasley, Michael, Navarro, Thompson, Sacco, Williams, and Tucker. Our finishing order here today. But it's all about that 0-4. Matthew Lee takes the victory. And let's bring him in to chat. Howdy, Matthew. How are you feeling?
Pretty good, guys.
Well, it looks like you were in control of that race from start to finish. You won the butt kicker pole position, and, well, the first stage didn't go your way, but all the other stages, they certainly did go your way as you're parked there on the bricks. How you feeling?
Good. That was it was a pretty challenging race. Track position really mattered a lot. I was pretty worried there when Justin pitted at the end of the last stage, or the second last stage before that break there, and he started in the lead. It was really tough to get by him with just how tight you were behind somebody. Really, once you got out front, it was pretty smooth sailing. So it was really just a matter of track position.
It certainly was a big strategy game at track position. Those 25 lap stages were a lot of fuel saving. What was your mindset going through those?
The first one, I was kind of like, all right, I'm just going to run it out as long as I can, and I come for fuel and tires, and I was hoping where might have been one of the last guys to take tires that, would be able to run guys down, but a couple guys short pitted, including Justin there. And when he short pitted, I really didn't see him pit. So when I come in and took tires, like he'd gotten a pretty good gap in front of me. I was running him down, but I just kind of ran out of time where, you know, he made up quite a bit of time while I was still slow before I pit. So learned a little bit in that first stage when that happened, and made sure it didn't work out that way in the second stage, and pitted about halfway through, and really worked out.
Well, it all worked out for you. I know a few of the indie purists are going to get on you, including me, about doing a burnout on the sacred bricks, but just be glad that this is a sim, so I don't actually have to find you. But congrats on the win. Enjoy yourself tonight. You have yourself a great night. But before I let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I gotta thank all of the guys over at Phantom Racing and CGE Chassis. Been doing a ton of work with truck setups for Road to Pro coming up. Really looking forward to that, and GTR simulators.
Well, I'm pretty sure all those guys are going to be happy about you. You enjoy yourself and have a great night.
Thanks, you two guys.
And let's go over to Derek Fulton, who has who is standing by with Tyler Vickery.
Yep, and Derek, what a run you had. I know you had a good fight there with Matthew at the restart. Just tell me, what was that restart? What was your plan on the restart? Trying to give Matthew some fight before he was able to just run you down and make a move around you.
Yeah, I was just trying to save a little bit for the end. I figured we were gonna have some more cautions. I had a couple sets of tires in the bank, so I was just kind of hoping that that would play out, but it didn't end up coming to. And track position was just huge. Just got stuck in the draft a few laps there, and that was all it took for Justin and Matt to get away from me. And then after that point, it was just I was trying to burning my stuff up, just trying to catch up to them at that point. So I really needed another caution to throw something at it. But I mean, I'll take it. Good points night, I guess. I needed a rebound after the season I've had so far. I've had a horrendous start to the season, so it's good to at least be up on podium.
Yeah, well, heck of a run for you. I mean, what was your opinion on pitting with about a lap or two to go there? We're seeing a lot of those guys pitting with a few laps to go near the end of stage 3.
I knew we were allowed to do it before the pits closed, but I knew that they closed within 2 laps. So I know Justin did it the right way. He did it, I think, with 3 laps to go, and everybody else went down with 2 to go. So the pits would have been closed at that point. Justin, at that point, he did what he had to do to roll the dice and get the most track position he could, and he did it right. The other guys just seen him go down and kind of try to follow him down there, not knowing what the actual rule was, I guess. So
Well, unbelievable run for you again, and I know you definitely got some shout outs as well, Derek, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to you.
yeah, sounds good. First of all, I'd like to shout out to my grandpa. I know he's watching. He likes to tune in every Tuesday night. So hey, grandpa. And then everybody else at CGE, Phantom, all the teammates, the core guys just do an amazing job day in and day out. So I'd like to thank all those guys, and then our secondary sponsors with Beleaf and PMI Paving and Orange Shoes and all those guys. I'm sure I'm forgetting some.
Well, unbelievable race again for you, Derek. Hats off again, and we wish you luck next week.
Good, thanks a lot, guys. Great job.
Yep. And Austin, I know you're with third place finisher of Gabriel Ellison, who had another heck of a run this week.
Yeah, I am standing by with the number 27 of Gabriel Ellison, who had a very good result for him. Up 5 spots, one of the biggest movers of this race. But he certainly had a good run with that green flag. Started down in 5th place and he moved himself all the way up into 3rd. Gabriel, how was that finish?
Good. I wasn't. I don't think I was very great in the short run. I qualified pretty bad, but I had some good pit stops in the first 2 stages. Kind of laddered me up track position wise, and then I just kind of saved tires the whole time enough to keep it. So.
Well, he certainly kept it well and clean today. It's the first time we've ever had 4 stages in the NRE Power Systems Cup Series. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it kind of was unfortunate. We had the third stage was only 15 laps, and then you lose 3 or 4 to the last stage caution, and then we got an early caution, so we only raced for 5 laps probably the third stage. I think at a track that has more laps, it's a shorter track with a lot more laps where you don't burn so much for a caution. Maybe it'd work a little better than there, but it's interesting. You get more restarts. I guess that's always fun.
Now, Indianapolis is a lot different for Cup races because of the low banking, the very flat corners, and the different types of the different approach to the corners here. I know it's a very famous track, but how does coming from an IndyCar perspective, how does a Cup guy prepare for a IndyCar track?
Honestly, I just practice. I mean, it's definitely unique. Honestly, not a huge fan. I like the banking, but I mean, at least it's unique. It has, all 4 corners are unique, so I mean, it has some character to it at least. It's just the Cup car in general with the package you get on these tracks. It's really hard to pass. I mean, you saw a lot of guys trying to pass tonight. It get really tight. If it's a little looser, then I think it'd be a really good track. But it's just got some issues. But I mean, it's unique. I'll give it that.
Well, you did have a good race. You finished up there at third. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Thanks to Michael McKinnon and Brady LaBeouf, Clinton Sneed putting the series on. Thanks to you guys, Racecraft, and then all the series sponsors. And shout out to 423 Racing and Sneed Competition Design.
All right. Thank you, man. You have yourself a great night. And over to Tyler for some closing thoughts.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, unbelievable run again here at Indy, and these guys put on a great show. I mean, we had some wild situations that happened, but I mean, what a finish again. Lee able to pull off the win. Derek Fulton had a great showing that he needed to have just to be able to get himself a run in the championship, and I look forward to next week.
Yeah, I certainly do. Remember, on Friday, we're going to be live again for another NASCAR race, but this time it's the trucks at Texas. Thank you all for joining us here on Racecraft TV for the NRE Power Systems Cup Series. For the Indianapolis 200, I've been joined by Tyler Vickery. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night. This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.